Well, got a long run today, Saturday. Trying to figure out how to carry the water without wearing a vest. See if that holds up. But working on fueling, so got about 178 carbohydrates that I'll be taking throughout the run. So that'll come out to around 80 an hour. But going to be using Tailwind, and then Go gels and Never Second gels. So got 14 miles easy, and then 5 miles at marathon pace to finish the run. So it's cooler today, had a cold front come through, it's a little bit breezy, so I'm ready to start running. Well, we're hanging on about 7:45s. It's mile 9, 11 to go. 5 more at a easier pace. So heart rate staying around 155 to 160, which may be kind of high, but effort feels pretty easy. Don't feel tired at all. Can maintain this for a long time. So 5 more miles to go before we get into marathon pace for the last 5 miles. Let's go. Really like these Never Second gels. Caffeinated. Doing the mixed berry. First time I used them, definitely felt the effects. So try them out if you're interested. Well, we're half marathon in. Still maintaining around a 7:40, 7:45 pace, I believe. Currently at 7:35. Heart rate, it's drifted up a little. It's 165, but to be expected. Less than a mile to go, and then we pick it up to my goal marathon pace. It's important on these long runs to incorporate some tempo, marathon pace when you're in a marathon training block. You don't want your long runs to all be just easy runs, because then you're just training to run your marathon easy. And if you want to perform, PR, give your best effort, you gotta push. And so doing the last 5 miles or the last 6 miles of this run at marathon pace, it's going to train me to run on tired legs at marathon pace, which is what I'm going to have to do in the marathon. Here we go. So going to try to ease into marathon pace and then maintain that. So miles an hour.
Almost. Almost 10 miles an hour.
little over 4 miles to go. Holding 620 to 615. Heart rate's at 180. Feel good. I've maintained 4 miles at faster than 620 pace, so 2 to go. Definitely tough. More of tempo than marathon pace. Heart rate's still low 180s. Got the 5 miles done. It's around probably 6:15 average, which is about 15 seconds faster than goal marathon pace. And that was tough. Definitely winded. Definitely fatigued the legs. So that's what we want to do, but it's gonna be hard to do that for another 21 miles. So good news is we got 4 more weeks of work to get in. So whew. Oh, so the workout was 14 miles at an easier effort, easy to moderate, and then 5 miles at marathon pace or faster, and then 10-minute cool down. So my watch is loading. 20.19 miles at average pace of 7:24. Average heart rate of 166. Max heart rate of 186. Says fully aerobic training, which is what we want for the marathon. So big effort. Like I said, that's the long run. Critical for a marathon prep. 20 miles, a little over 20 miles. Again, it's just getting the legs used to running tired, and then you put in that marathon pace on the end of the long run. You're just training to run at marathon pace on tired legs. I did kind of burn out. I mean, I could have held on for another mile or 2, but was definitely starting to lose breath. Legs were definitely getting tired. So we still got work to do. My legs were a little bit sore, just slightly sore from lifting the other day, which is fine. Again, I'm going to be fresh, hopefully, going into the marathon from the taper. So when you're hitting marathon paces at the end of a 60-mile week, today puts me at a little over 60 miles this week. plus lifting in the gym, and then you're still hitting those marathon paces. You know, the hope is that you taper, you know, 10 to 14 days leading up to the marathon. You're fresh, your legs feel good, you're recovered from, you know, the months of training and intensity, and then you can execute on day of marathon. In terms of fueling, what I did, you know, felt good throughout. So I took 3 gels, 2 Go gels, and then 1 Never Second. And so that would have been 24, 48, 78 carbohydrates from gels. I think that's 600 milligrams of sodium. I think there's 200 in each. And I want to say that's 350 calories. I have to get back and look total there. And then I used Tailwind. So I'm gonna have to get a belt or something. What I had there just wasn't good. And I don't really want to wear a vest because of potentially overheating my core temperature. It's going to be May. I want to be as cool as possible running. So I'm thinking about getting a belt to be able to hold 2 flasks plus the handheld. That'd give me about 40 to 45 ounces of liquid. And then I plan to put 2 scoops of Tailwind in each of those, so that would be another 150 grams of carbs. And I have to go back and look at the sodium for that as well. So still have to figure the sodium part out. But in terms of carbohydrates, that's going to be 150, roughly 225 carbohydrates for the marathon. Looking at sub 250, we'll just call it 3 hours. That comes out to 75 grams of carbs per hour, which is, I think, good for me. Averaged over 80 carbs per hour during the 100K and felt pretty good throughout. This is going to be a harder effort, so not worried about the GI issues, hopefully. I didn't have any today on my run, so yeah, I mean, I think we're good on the fueling. Just need to maybe work on sodium intake. Might have to get some salt pills or something, because it was cool today, didn't sweat that much. May the 2nd has the potential to be cool, but also has the potential to be very humid and hot. So feeling okay. Don't feel like I'm there yet or in shape yet, but again, got 4 weeks of training. And like I said earlier, if you're in the middle of a marathon prep, you need to be making your long run a workout. Maybe not every week, but every other week, or 2 or 3 weeks in peak training. And again, you don't want to run the whole thing at marathon pace, but you do want to get some miles in at marathon pace, or even slightly faster, half marathon pace, 10K pace, you know, throwing a couple miles. Even if it's a deload week, you know, so maybe you ran 20 miles easy and you're going to deload to 16 miles. Those are good weeks to, you know, take some intensity out during the middle of the week, put it in on your long run. It's less miles, less time on feet, but you raise the intensity. So that's the perfect time to do that. But that's the long run. It's kind of what I'm doing throughout this block. I think next week I have 2 hard workouts during the week, so my long run is going to be all easy. And the week after that, I kind of go back to a workout in the long run. And I'll do either marathon pace at the end, or I'll throw in some tempo miles throughout. So like, you know, run 5 miles easy, 3 miles tempo, 5 miles easy, 3 miles tempo. Something like that. Just a bunch of different things you can do. But again, you just want to be getting in those faster paces in your long run if you're training for a marathon and you're going for a PR, you know, or just trying to get the most out of yourself. So keep that in mind. And it's another video. Like I said, I got about 4 more weeks of training till the marathon. So we'll be putting out a few more episodes, but would love it if you would subscribe, like this video. Again, trying to grow the channel, like I said, documenting this prep for a marathon, going for a PR, going for sub 250. But then after that, I'm pretty much going to take a few weeks off and then go right into a big training block for a 100 miler. My longest distance yet, did 100K, like I said, back in November, did 100K. So stepping my ultra distance up to the 100 miler. Would love to be competitive, but again, it's my first, so I don't really know what to expect. You know, it's going to be 38 miles further than I've ever been, but again, just if you would, stay tuned, subscribe to the channel so you can see what I got going on. Like I said, I'll be documenting that prep for the 100 miler as well. So thank y'all for watching. See you on the next one.